So I'm trying out a new background. I've no longer got the plain white wall. I thought I would experiment a little bit. I don't really know whether it works. Please let me know down below if you like the kind of like more homey background, or if it literally just looks like I've got a plant coming out of my head. So for today's video, I thought I would give a little bit of a guide to how you can dress if you're slightly more on the taller end of the spectrum like myself. So I am 5'10". I am typically a size 8 on top, and then I can be anything like 10 to 12 on the bottom. So obviously being 5'10", I understand a lot of the tall girl problems, a lot of which are kind of clothing related. And I'm not just talking about kind of the fit of things, I'm talking more about what you feel comfortable in. I was one of the tallest at school. I was definitely the tallest out of my little friendship group, and I know what it feels like to feel big. And there are certain techniques that you can use when you dress that don't accentuate your length. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer, I personally don't use any of these techniques. I have learned to embrace my height. It was a journey, but I absolutely adore my height now. But I know that there are a lot of people who feel a little bit self-conscious about how they dress. And as much as I do want everyone to be able to accept who they are and embrace whether they're tall, short, curvy, skinny, whatever body shape you may have, I can appreciate that it's not easy. It is a journey, one that I've been through. And some people may just want a little bit of guidance with how to dress when they are a certain body type. And I am tall. So this is something I can talk about knowingly. So if you're excited for this video, don't forget to give it a huge thumbs up down below. I would really appreciate it. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe as well and join my little YouTube family. And without further ado, let's get on with the video. The first pointer I have for my tall friends watching is high-waisted is your friend. Okay, so right now I'm going to talk stereotypes, so if this isn't you, please don't come at me. I'm just generalizing because I know I definitely fit into this stereotype. If you are tall and lanky, your figure may typically go, you know, straight down. Not very many curves, so you want to do everything you can to kind of accentuate the ins and outs that you have. Belts, particularly kind of accent belts, are another really easy way to do that. Just kind of draw attention to your central point. Just kind of snatching you in at the waist definitely breaks up your silhouette, so you've definitely got a very definite upper half and lower half, and it's not just kind of all merging into one, which will accentuate your length. You know what? I have a really sneaky feeling that I'm going to use the word accentuate far too many times in this video. My next point is to reach for thigh-high or knee-high boots over booties. So if you've got a lot of leg going on down there like me, you don't just want to kind of stick something on the end of it. You want to utilize all that space that you've got. If you're on the shorter side, you may want to stick to kind of an ankle boot because that's proportional, but if you're a little bit taller, you want a taller boot. Next, don't be afraid of patterns. Patterns fill up the canvas. If you're wearing a blank top and a blank trouser, you are just accentuating all that empty space that you've got going on. Whereas with a pattern, it just makes it look a little bit more concentrated and compact. Next is to do with your shoes. Again, I'm stereotyping. This isn't everybody, but I know I definitely fit into this stereotype. If you have a lot of height, you probably have a slightly bigger foot. Otherwise, you're going to be tripping up a hell of a lot. And I know quite often if you are tall, you don't want to reach for a heel and add even more height. So flats are the only other option. But flats can be problematic. I personally find that round toe pumps look slightly cheap, like if they're a ballet pump, for example. Equally, a pointed toe flat can just elongate your foot even more. So the perfect medium is a square toe flat. So it cuts off straight after your toes, which means it's not adding any extra length to your foot, yet it still has that unique shape, which does make it look maybe a little bit more expensive, a little bit more stylish. So next is go for oversized jumpers, sweaters, cardigans, and this is to avoid the problem of sleeves that are too short. So I not only have really, really long legs, I also have really long arms as well. So finding sleeves that don't cut off like above my wrist is really, really annoying. If you just opt for a couple of sizes up, you will get the right sleeve length and you can just rock it oversized. It'll just look like a fashion statement. Most of all, it will just look like the clothes actually fit you and you're not just trying to squeeze into something that's too small for you. This also goes for my next point, which is avoid cropped trousers. So cropped trousers, similar to the previous point, it will just look like you're trying to squeeze into something that you are too long for. You're practically just showing off all that extra limb that you have. So something that you could do if you do have a pair of cropped trousers that you like is just pop on a tall boot to go with it, because that will hide all that extra ankle space and it will look planned essentially. I genuinely have no idea what number we're on right now, but I will put it somewhere on the screen. But my next point is, if you are going out and you're wearing maybe a pretty dress or a jumpsuit, say, something that would normally maybe be worn with heels, I find that the best alternative is something that ties up the ankle. So the purpose of a heel is just to elongate your legs, make you look a little bit more, I don't know, elegant. I don't know if that's the technical purpose of a heel. I think just popping on any normal pair of flats can often kind of take away that elegance. Whereas having something that ties up the ankle, it's still kind of adding that height to your ankle, obviously without actually adding any height. It is literally the only kind of shoe that I am comfortable with as an alternative to heels, because it's the only one that I feel like doesn't look strange. So my penultimate point is layering can do wonders. So it's similar to my first point. You really want to break up your silhouette. So having layers, particularly jackets, you are adding multiple kind of stop points to your outfit. So you can have where your top ends if you're wearing a crop top, or where it's tucked into your trousers, that is the first stop point. Then you have when your jacket ends, that is the second. And then you have where your trousers or your skirt ends, which is the third. Having these different points in your outfit will just help break up your figure and make you not look like you're just one long human, I guess. Wow, that was a great description, Lizzy. And my final point is kitten heels can look cute. So in the last few years, kitten heels have been a bit of a trend. They're obviously a lot more comfortable than wearing, you know, 6-inch stilettos on a night out. But I do think they can be trickier to find ones that look good on a tall person. Again, because of the proportions. If you have a super tall body and you put a tiny heel, it can just look a bit odd. But this is where I encourage you to shop around. I have found my perfect pair of kitten heels from a shop called Ego. I will link them down below. You just have to find what shape, what height, what style suits you and what you feel comfortable in. It is completely personal preference. And that, my fabulous tall friends, is all the tips I have for you. Again, I just want to emphasize the fact that all bodies are beautiful, whether you're tall, small, whatever. But maybe using some of these tips to be a little bit more comfortable with your height is just one step further to being more confident and just to embracing your tallness. I really do hope you guys found this video helpful and you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys very, very soon for another video.